Thanks, Tim. Hello, everyone. I'm Toby Harpham. So I guess I'm the timekeeper today and the official introducing person. So probably the start of this project started with Fraser and I and All Good Projects having a beer and discussing where his farm's going to go into the digital world. So where I come from is a financial background, so I'm probably the least important person in the room here today as part of this digital program. But from my point of view, speaking to Fraser, was understanding the data within his farm, understanding and knowing that data to make critical decisions is a really important aspect in the financial operation and sustainability of his farm. So it's something that we spoke about a long time. We went to university together, been mates for a long time, and it's something that we've really talked about and probably done no action on for many years. So we started having a conversation about what data is and what is the critical parts of his operation that need to be managed. And that's where this project started, with trying to understand what that was in Fraser's world, and not from an aspect of a university position or an ag tech person or a finance provider. It was what was relevant for the actual farmer or the producer of that data, and how can that be helped. And so there's some key things that we're trying to solve in this project, and we don't think that we've solved everything, and there is a lot of work to be done. But from my point of view, and Fraser's got some others, obviously he's the farmer, but a big part from mine was how can we get a lot of ag tech or different companies working together for the benefit of the actual data producer. So that being a farmer, that being whoever that data producer is. The second part that, from my point of view, is how can we actually analyse these large data sets simply and easily without having to have a degree in computer engineering or an analytics degree. So how can we make these decisions easier to make decisions on the go, but also be able to invite other people into it? So having specialists in your business to be able to come into your data set, come into your world relatively easy, and not having to cost you the world to make those decisions. And the third part is probably why we wanted a big collaborative approach here, was what happens if we're using some form of technology, A, we really like it but we don't like the display, or B, we really liked it but they were bought out or they've gone broke or they've gone somewhere else, and my data, where is it? And so one of the key points that we were trying to look at and explore is how do we keep the consistency of our data flow, and how do we manage that for future use? So for example, if we use some widget today and it's gone tomorrow, that might have been 5 years of our data points that we've lost. And it's very, very important. And I think that's a big point in the adoption of technology from our point of view, is that once you get burnt, you're not really excited to go do it again because you've had to start the clock again. So it's a big thing for us that we were talking about. And so I asked Fraser if he'd like to be a guinea pig, because Peter don't allow animal trials anymore. So we took Fraser on, and he has been semi-willing most of the way. So Fraser was happy enough to open up the farm, and we got a good group of people here. So the big difference here that I want to sing out, that every business in this room is a commercial operation in their own right. So this is not a test or a trial for their products. They are actually using these in the market in the field. So what we're trying to do here is, can we get a group of people to work together in a commercial operation for the benefit of a grower? And so there has been challenges, and everyone's running their own race in their own businesses, and we're trying to pair back into here. But I think what we're seeing is we're starting to get there. And so this isn't a final conclusion of this project. We're only halfway through. So today was more of a open it up, let everyone have a look. We really want this to be interactive. Please yell out at any of the dashboards what you're seeing, if there's anything better or worse we could do, because we want to make this interactive as possible, because we're still running this project out until June. Fraser hasn't picked yet. So the data sets aren't complete, and at the end of it, for everyone, we are going to be doing a full ROI and a cost-based analysis, and then a full review from Fraser on about what the pros and cons were. So I want today to be as interactive as possible. Please yell out, stop the speaker, ask questions, because we don't learn anything unless people yell out. So Fraser, probably I want to get Fraser to talk about himself and what he was trying to get out of the project. And Fraser, don't tell him where you are at the moment in your journey, because we'll do that at the end.
Thanks, Tobes, and thanks everyone involved. Great to be here. So I guess a little bit about us. So we're a 1,000 hectare farm out at Brookstead, so all irrigation. Got a mixture, half flood, half lateral. So we're family farms, so farming in partnership with my brother and his family, and I guess we've recently taken over from mum and dad. So I guess, yeah, as Tobes sort of alluded to, we probably, as we've gradually added technology to the farm, it's sort of been in an ad hoc basis, so one here, different companies. So we really wanted to see if we could, going forward, what was the best way to capture all our data and which sort of technology to be using. So that's where the project sort of started from, and I guess, that's what we're trying to do is link it, then can we link it all together in the one dashboard or central point. For this project, I guess our biggest limiting factor is water, so probably we wanted to concentrate on the water element. We were always pretty keen to get into sort of surveying our dams and having a really accurate monitor in the dam, so that was sort of one of the first things, and then going from there into sort of channel, monitoring our irrigation pumps and channel devices and that sort of stuff. So that's where we came from. For the project, we sort of chose one paddock. Started out early on with soil testing and EM surveys, and then sort of progressively we're going to follow that through. Unfortunately, the season probably didn't go with us, or we were a bit adventurous on our water budgeting, so as you'll see, the crop probably hasn't performed as well as we would have liked, and we've sort of run out of water, but I still think it gives you some pretty interesting sort of information points from the season. So yeah, it's, as Tobe said, certainly been challenging trying to get all the sort of technologies and get yourself across all the different platforms. But I think, really worthwhile, really enjoyed working with everyone, and, I think there's plenty of scope to continue. So hopefully we'll open up for some more questions through the day. And
heaps for you, mate.
Yeah, ask away. Anything further?
We'll get back to you, Fraser. We're going to have an open mic for you later. So Fraser's really excited about talking in front of people. So if you want him to get back, just put your hand up and we'll bring him back. So I think one of the points there that Fraser said was water. Being a cotton irrigation farmer on the inner downs here, it was one of his key attributes. And I think to the credit of two of